It is Friday the 27th of October at a little after 11 o'clock, and we're looking at the moon, and it's about half full. It's a waxing moon, so it's heading towards a full moon. We're looking through a 400 millimeter f5.6 maximum aperture Nikkor lens, an old IFED model. That's internal focus, extra low dispersion glass. It's attached to a TC301 teleconverter, bringing it up to 800 millimeters total. The aperture on the lens is f8, but the teleconverter eats up a couple of stops, so it's actually f16. It's a 40th of a second shutter speed, and we're at 6400 ISO. And we got a bit of wind, so that could be causing some vibration. We don't have the most sturdy setup in terms of the tripod and lens holder and this and that, so it could be getting a bit of vibration. But it looks reasonably sharp on the screen here. The exposure's a little on the bright side for the moon itself. If I wanted more detail in the moon, I'd maybe go to a 60th or even an 80th, but then the glow halo around the moon, which is just the shining through clouds, that would diminish. So I don't really want to do that. So we're just getting some sort of moody shots here. Oh, looks like I got a bit of a dust spot there down. That's annoying. Oh well, these things happen. I think what I can do though is if I just reframe, that annoying little dust spot will disappear into the gloom. So let's just reframe this. There we go, and we'll let the moon descend through the frame. We won't worry too much about that little dust spot down there in the corner, and we shall see what we can do about cleaning. But it seems every time I clean this thing that there's always one or two dust spots left, no matter what I do. So yeah, the wind is definitely causing some vibration here. Let's see if I can stop this draft from acting like a sail. And yeah, it looks like the moon went into some thicker cloud because we're seeing more detail here. Yeah, it seems to be, it gets lighter and then darker a little bit depending on how thick the cloud is. But yep, very nice sort of moody half moon in a sort of orangey sky because it's getting low on the horizon. It's not crazy low on the horizon, but it's about half a handspan above the horizon, so there's not a whole lot further to go before it dips below the horizon. But it still has probably half an hour or so to go before it gets very low on the horizon. And I have some obstructions in front of me, so before it gets low on the horizon, it's going to run into billboards essentially in a U-Haul van. It's right in front of me. It's obviously not in the picture, but it's getting down to the point where the as the moon goes lower, I'm going to have some obstructions. So let's see here. Let's just reframe again. So again, cheap and dirty. Just going to reframe now. A little off to the left and raise things a little bit, and we'll let it descend through the frame again. Okay, there we go. So again, it's the shutter speed's a 40th of a second, which is a bit on the low side for a 800 millimeter lens. Even on a tripod. F8 on the lens, f16 in terms of real aperture. ISO 6400, and then the clouds are doing a good job of obscuring the moon, so it's not so bright right now, which is good. Basically even grayish, illumination there, no burnout. So it looks kind of fun to me. And yeah, the way things look, I should probably think in terms of reframing again. But we're just going to let it descend through the clouds some more before we reframe the image. But definitely getting some nice moody half-moon images on video tonight, to say nothing of some still shots I shot. Yeah, you can see the vibration there from the wind. I definitely could, if I did some custom work, I could probably put a steadier tripod mount on the lens, to say nothing of the teleconverter, and it would almost be worth having like a double mount, one on the teleconverter, one on the lens, and then attaching them together, and then having a somewhat sturdier tripod than I'm using right now. But yeah, we're getting down to the bottom there. I see that nasty little dust spot again. So we're going to reframe and bring the moon back up on the left side a bit and go a little higher this time. That's pretty good. So yeah, definitely, I really like the moodiness of this with the clouds, and it's definitely got a moody atmosphere to it. And that wind is probably not helping. Yeah, we can see some vibration there. Even a high shutter speed, to be honest, wouldn't really stop that vibration. The only thing to do is to get out of the wind and get a much more rock solid mount on the lens and tripod, but that's not happening tonight. So So I think I will wrap this up and take a few more still shots. Got a nice little clip of a plane flying across the moon there earlier. It was quite far away, so it was quite small in relation to the moon. I don't even know what type of aircraft it was. Might have been a fairly small aircraft, might not have been a